Hey folks, we are back again, and look, there's loads of people. I'm not even going to point at them because they're everywhere. We are doing the thing we probably should have done at the show, but we were very tired by the end of Sunday, and everything had got very busy. We were planning to do kind of our picks of the show and do like a little video about them, but everything went a bit mad. So we are doing it now in retrospect, so people get to know what we would have picked out from the show. We did record two of them, which is kind of like the general consensus sort of car of the year, but we didn't do a full award. And Simon, wherever he is, he managed to get his pick as well. So let's start with that one, and then we'll work our way through Jason and Andy and then Dan and then myself. So Simon, what was your pick?
My pick of the show. We're not mentioning the best of show here, are we? We're just going
no.
My personal pick of the show, which is quite a responsibility, I must say, was that little Bedford Rascal, the black one on like TurboVec wheels that cruised in. I was on the sort of the back gate sorting out the paddocks, and it came cruising on in. This is my hand doing the cruising, and it was quite quiet, and I just thought that's really cool. I like that a lot. And then
there you are.
And then the guy said to me pretty casually, he said 2.8 V6 turbo. I mean, he didn't have an accent like that, but that's what he might have sounded like if I remembered. And I was like, no, because I liked the van in the first place. And then I ushered him into a spot. In fact, the spot that there's a picture of me standing next to there on the screen now. And it's just a super cool little truck. It's really nice. We went and had a look at it later, and the V6 is like where the front seats are, and the seats were in the back so that we could look at the engine. And it's just brilliant. It's just a brilliant little car. And I think we've since learned that the guy's got a history with pretty rad and pretty cool cars. Yeah. That's my pick, that little Bedford Rascal van. Although,
I like that.
Although I'm quietly wishing that I'd taken a photo of that Citroen Amy brake that was running around with the bizarrely peas that was stuck to it and was doing a bit of racing, because that was the thing I just wanted to be driving around all weekend instead of my rubbish little van. So that's it. Sort of a little like potentially affordable choice, and then just a brilliant car that I liked a lot. 2.8 V6 turbo.
Yeah, that I liked it for just the ridiculousness of it. Like, how can you? At what point do you decide to put a 2.8 V6 lump in your Bedford van and then turbocharge it?
And the thing about it is, it's obviously a cool little van, but it's a proper sleeper because it didn't make any sounds. It didn't, like when he told me what it had in it, I had a bit more of a listen, and you realised not really that it sounded like it was a 2.8 V6, that it didn't sound like a Bedford Rascal is probably the real truth of it. It didn't have a massive burble going on or anything. It was just quiet and unassuming, and just as a lowered Bedford Rascal van, I was pretty into it. And then when you find out there's a bit more to it, I have no idea what the back axle must have been and stuff, because there's a lot of work goes into making something so small so powerful.
It's very narrow, isn't it? So it's not going to be just bolt of Capri in there or something.
Yeah.
Way too narrow for that.
Yeah, I mean, the busy days that we have here, so I didn't get that much of a look at it. We went over and did a little video of it later, but even then I didn't have a proper look, and the owner wasn't there to chat to him or anything. But yeah, I probably should have spent more time on it. We should probably have a show we don't organise where we can look at these things.
Yeah, we'll track him down and go and see what he's got. So he also has that big twin supercharged Capri with that's been to our events before, and this I think he has had built for a little while.
He said, he told me, I think they'd owned it for 20 years, which I found really interesting, because there's similarities to Bruce Holder's old Bedford Rascal, his green one. It had like the tinted lights, and then the TurboVec sort of interstate Western Bullet style wheels as well. But clearly it predates Bruce's, even if maybe the styling doesn't. But it's just so rad.
I thought it was, at first glance, I thought somebody had purchase Bruce's old one and giving it a nice repaint.
Yeah. Well, unless that was all 20 years ago, that seems unlikely. Yeah. But right down to is it fly eyes on the headlight? I think it had like darkened lights. But if it works, it works.
So we have a video of this we will put together. I don't know if it will make it into the edit because I haven't edited it yet, but my favourite comment on the whole video is when Simon observes the fact that the seats have been put in the back and Jason asks, "Is that where the driver sits?"
Yes, Jason. Yes, it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you may well have been trolling somewhat, but yeah, that was super. Brilliant stuff. Right, I'm going to move on to Jason's pick, and hopefully, if my computer does the right thing, there is Jason's pick. Which did you pick, Jason?
I picked the Stolton Boys Escort. Yeah. And I didn't know it had a rotary engine in it at the time, because I think when I first saw it, it was in which one was it in? It was in the Deadline display, I think.
Yeah. We moved to the Deadline display on the Sunday.
Yeah, and so at first I just glanced past it and I knew it had something different because of the wheels, and then I sort of thought nothing of it. And then was filming on track, and I didn't see it, but I heard a car go off. All I heard was, "Arr!" And it was actually this one. And I thought, hold on a second, why has it gone off? He must have been giving it some. And then I thought, let's go and have a look at it later on. And when I saw it again in the paddocks, had the bonnet open and stuff, and it had I was with Richie filming, and he was like, "What is in that?" And I was like, "I think that's a rotary engine." And then saw that it was, and I thought, that's a bit crazy. And then all the details on it, just I guess because it's a race spec, and like everything in it braced up and stuff was pretty crazy. And then again heard it doing a few flights. It's not crazy loud, but you could tell it's a rotary. And just because it's an Escort, my dad used to have one, and I just thought, would never have thought you could get one of those in there. And yeah,
it's a really nicely put together thing, as is common with the cars the Stolton brothers turn out. But it's super clean, and actually it's not that wild looking. I think feels and a bit.
I was about to say,
it's really cool.
It's
got a cage in it and bucket seats, but it's not, it's not all aero and madness. It looks like an Escort. I think it's still got the original badges on it, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, 1.3 GL.
Yeah.
If you lost, are they RS 1600i front and rear spoilers?
Yeah, something like that.
If you lost those, it would be pretty damn sleeperish at first look.
Yeah.
It probably needs those.
Probably does need those, not take off.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the guys. Am I right in thinking that black XR2 with the crazy aero on it is one of their cars? So they could have gone that direction, and it's really nice that they haven't. It's I know probably this isn't the car just to talk about the styling of, because it's rear-wheel drive, but it's really cool. And I have to confess, I didn't really notice it on the day at all. Like, even worse than Jason, who sort of only found out a bit later. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest.
That's testament to how unassuming it is, though.
That's what I quite like about it, given that it's a rotary powered Escort with a side exit exhaust out the front of it and rear wheel drive. It doesn't scream at you. It's just there doing its thing, burbling away, and it's a quick little thing as well.
You can actually see in the official video that it pops a bit of flames as it passes by the stands and stuff. So then I thought, that's definitely getting in there somehow.
Well, there's little bits of video you see and you go, yep, I will take that.
That will do. Yeah. But that was, I guess that's one of the many, but definitely one of those triple take moments. So yeah, that was a good one.
That's awesome. Right. Yes, I agree. Stolton Brothers doing good work. I'm going to quickly flick through these and find Andy's pick.
Did we have to choose black cars? Was that the deal?
No, we can choose other colour cars as well. In fact, Andy has picked something that's two-tone black and another colour.
Oh, yeah.
And Dan, actually, I believe when we get to it, has picked something that's kind of a merge between black and a light colour. So, you know, it's all over the place. We're wild.
It's an early clue.
Monochrome.
So, Andrew, come on. Well, look at it. It's amazing. But why did you pick this?
I chose this because I thought, what would I take home with me, given a chance? And I really wanted 240Z, so I picked what I thought was the best of a few very nice 240Zs that were at the show.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's spectacular. I like everything about it, really.
I wonder what it says on the wheels.
Got roundels on the doors.
Oh, the tyres, you mean?
On the tyres, sorry, yeah.
The tyre letters.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Not my tyres.
Black circles.
Blackcircles.com.
It's probably something better than that. Yeah. There you go. Do you know what engine it's got in it, Andy?
It's got an L28 turbo, I believe, or an L30, I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? I don't purport to be an expert, but it looked like the original straight six, but with a turbo. I only got a really quick look at it.
It belongs to Steve Grove, and who was previous winner the last time he ran Retro Rise Weekender with his C10 Skyline. So yeah, he has a very nice selection of cars and decided to come down in this time.
Oh, wow.
I really like it. I think it's kind of like the JDM styled 240Zs. I think it's probably the best in the country as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree, but I agree with Andy. I would also say that we did have a good selection of 240Zs. There's a Super Samurai one there as well, which is like a proper original, was a 432R shell, which is like the super lightened 240Z shell, but with an L series engine for racing. And like that was amazing to have there. I was like really surprised that was there. But then he took that out on the sprint, and I think he did the auto solo as well, and seemed to have a really good time. So
my favourite Z was the brown and orange one.
Oh yes, I know which one.
Which I think had a very, if I'm not mixing up my Zs, had a very retro styled RB26 in it.
Oh wow, nice. To find that, see if we can find a shot of that and put that in this here video. Yeah, good selection of 240Zs, and yeah, agreed. Steve Groves is good.
I just picked what I wanted, basically.
Yeah, it's a good way. I've done it.
Cream cars now.
Done it before. You just go, yep, that's the one I drive home in. That's the one I'm picking.
That's kind of how your choice from the show works, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Although that is the only thing left on your list that you don't own, isn't it?
In terms of like the dream garage, that would be the only one that I'd swap in now, I think.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Not a bad position to be in.
No, it's a nice place to be. Dan, who had other people's various car of the show with his Audi. Genuinely, people seem to love that thing so much. And he has got...
morons.
If anyone's interested, it is for sale.
It is for sale currently.
Buy it. I've done it now. It's done. I don't want it anymore.
How very Dan.
Very Dan. So Dan's pick is this here.
So I went with another vehicle that we always have generally a good turnout of. We get a very good attendance in BMW 2002s, and they're all pretty good quality motors when they come in as well. But this really stood out to me because it was a 2002 Touring. We don't see too many of those. But it's been very nicely modified. It's owned by a chap called Tony Forbes Marsden, who appears to be a serial BMW pervert from Essex. And it's just got some really, really nice touches to it. It's originally it's an Alpina, hence the 4 headlight grille. I did some research after the show in advance of this video. He picked it up as a completely rotten shell in late 2018, and basically the bottom 6 inches of it didn't exist, all the flaws. but you could still see all of the Alpina livery on it. And it was only the Alpinas, I think it was an optional extra on Alpinas to have the 4 headlight grills. If you search for photos of 2002s, they generally all have single grill headlights. It's quite a rare option.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it's been put on air. It's got BBS LMs on it, and anybody who knows me, I'm not a fantastic lover of BBS wheels, only because they're a bit of an easy choice because they're a design that works so well on so many cars. But they suit the car. It's got some really nice custom-made center caps on it with a 2002 logo on. It's got the BMW 2002 turbo arches on it. I don't know much about BMW engines, but having looked through his Instagram, it's got an M10, which came everything from a 1.5 to a 2 litre, I think, so it may be the original engine. It's on twin 40 Webers. Really nice interior done by a company called B-Trim, who are out of Enfield. A hidden air install and ice install in the back of it. It's just a really, really nice turned out car.
Yeah. I think
more research than the rest of us.
I was going to say, I feel ashamed.
I know Tony, and I didn't even know any of this. So well done.
And who wants to guess what the colour is?
Is
Grey.
it grey?
It's not the traditional Audi grey.
Is it Ford?
Yep,
Grey.
it's Ford Stealth Grey, which
Stealth
is
grey. Focus RS.
Focus ST colour.
Yeah, that's my choice of grey at the moment.
It's a good
It's
grey.
really nice. It suits it really well. It's very
Yeah.
understated and it shows the lines of the car.
Yeah,
It's one of those cars that's just done like all of the care and attention has been done on the detail as well as like the broad brush kind of, this is what I'm going to do to my car. Like all the detail is there as well. This was with the Retrospect Plus guys who always turn out a bunch of really nice cars. And who we always overlook for awards on purpose. Hi guys.
Hi, Retrospect Plus. Yeah.
But no, we don't. Like they always turn out it with just like fabulous cars. But this was a touch above even like their very high standard. Like either side of this car are both great cars. You can see Dave Smith's Marlboro car reflected on one side, and Wayne has finally taken the livery off of his LS powered E30, so it looks much better.
The ex-Jägermeister one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks better
I
without
didn't
the
even
livery.
realise that was the same car.
Yeah.
Looks so much better without that livery on it. Wow.
Yeah. But I think this touring is so I don't know whether you outstandingly understated.
Yeah.
Because you could have chosen a wild colour to paint it in.
Yeah.
You could have done really, really blingy rims, although, obviously they're shiny BBS split rims. He could have painted the centres a crazy colour. He could have done all sorts of things to really, really show off the amount of work that he's done.
Look, the interior is really nice as well. In fact, I think if I do that, there we go.
Really nice.
Oh,
Yeah, you
That's
see, it's got that really nice. It's the proper like what would now be called resto modded type thing, where it's gone all the way through, just like fully detailed really nicely. I'm in broad agreement. This was for me in the running for like top car of the year type thing.
And there's no chrome on the outside of the car either.
No.
He's effectively retrospectively shadow chromed it.
yeah. I like the all black grills
door
on it.
handles, everything.
really cool.
Apart from the wheels, obviously, that are nice shiny stainless steel. Everything is black on the external of the car. Just really, really.
I'm gonna steal that idea.
That's a very clever steal. Just, one of my pet hates is when you don't do the full dechrome. It's where you paint everything black, but then just leave the door handles or a badge or something. Oh dear.
I'm contemplating something similar on the Cutlass, but going satin bronze instead.
Oh, nice.
That sounds good.
But that's one of the things, and actually for all of the cars so far, there's like a little thing you can take away from every single one of them so far, which is really nice. Like as the whole point of these things for me is not so much. Like it's nice to reward people for their good work and all that kind of stuff when we actually are allowed to do prizes and things and prize gatherings. But it's to just almost elevate things to say, look at this, it's got some really neat ideas in it. Take a closer look at it, and what can you do for your project or your future planning or whatever. So on that note, I'm going to do, well, as stated at the start of the video, I have 2 picks. And one of them, you can't take away anything for any of your projects because it's just the car. So I'm going to get to that. Oh, there's that. It's this black Di Tommaso Pantera because it's just jaw dropping to me. I love Panteras, full stop. They are one of my favorite cars ever. I have books about them and all of that stuff. So when the Di Tommaso guys were like, oh, we can bring a couple of cars for the supercar lineup, I was all in. And the bronze one has a weird story in that I have a photograph of that from when I was 10 years old at Brands Hatch. I asked my dad to take a picture of it because I loved it so much. And then it's rolling into my show, however many years later, 35 years later.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I was really pleased, and the guy's really nice. And then, but he knew someone with the white one that we parked next to it, and I was originally going to park that in the acceptable in the 80s paddock, but then I was like, oh, let's beef up the supercar lineup with that because it just looks pretty sweet. And then they turned up with another bronze one, which booked in kind of like a couple of days before. And I was like, well, that's quite amusing now. So he's just got a ridiculous amount of Panteras. And then on the day, this black one turns up. And I was like, well, now I can put a Pantera in the 80s display as well. But it's also, I don't know, there's just something menacingly wonderful about a black Di Tommaso Pantera. And so I really want to pick that. But it's not a particularly retro rides car. So I wanted to highlight the fact that this is my car of the event, and like in Andy's terms, would be the one I would take home from the show and drive around in and do my shopping in.
Where would you put your shopping?
I don't have to do much; they deliver most of it nowadays. Oh, that's true. Thank you, COVID. But I was having a quick look through the photos, and there's a lot of standout cars. There's lots of really, really good cars at the event. And weirdly, I was really attracted to this.
Citroen AX.
Which is a Citroen AX. And I kept on coming back to it. And I don't know why. And there's just something about it. I think it just looks like an awful lot of fun. It's it's like tuned. It's basically a Saxo VTR underneath. Like with the engine and all that kind of stuff. I went and had a look back at their application because this is in the Deadline paddock. Guy called James Cribb, who also has the Nissan Power next to it. He built both of them last year, effectively. So this was accident damaged at the end of 2019, I think, and then he built it and then brought it to the show, which is lovely.
Wow.
And I don't know, I just really like it. It just looks like, and we've been around shows before, and occasionally you just look at a car and you go, that looks like a lot of fun. And that's what it was to me. Like there's more serious cars there that could go proper fast, and there's more scene show car type stuff there as well. But this was just like, if I came out my house and this was on my drive and the Pantera obviously wasn't, I'd probably get in this over like a lot of the other cars that were at the event just to go for a blast around the lanes where I live. So that's why I picked this. It's nice.
Did it go around the track?
I'm not sure he did actually, but no, he must have done. I think.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it's built for. It's got like sticky tires, and they're not all stretched and stuff. I'm trying to work out. It looks like the front arches have been pulled a bit.
Could have been.
It looks they're usually less sort of. They don't widen out towards the arches in that way normally. I could be totally wrong. I'm not no AX expert. But
no expert.
Oh, brilliant!
Thank you.
Yeah, a very good Scrabble word as well.
Yeah,
AX.
It's got the Laguna. Is that a Laguna front lip as well?
It is.
Everything.
Bit of the 90s.
Yeah.
There you go.
The compromise. But my mate used to have one of these, and I think that's when they were. I think you picked up for like 300 or something, £400 or something. And with these, you used to get like a fire extinguisher in the passenger side door. And one time, us being young, we thought he was parked up by my garage. He was like, "Should we just have a go and just pull it?" And then so we proceeded to just play with the fire extinguisher, put it away, and then like a couple of months later, he broke down, and then he gave me a call and said, "Jason, I just pulled over, and then the engine was on fire in the AX." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. You had an extinguisher, isn't it?" And he goes, "No, we depressurized it." So it proceeded to catch on fire just because of us playing around with it.
Well done, Jason. You massive vandal. You burned the car.
Yeah.
And that's why this is the only one left now.
Yeah. But it was really fun. It's really light, and I remember him hooning around in it, and it is fun. And can imagine on those Webbers or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It must scream kind of thing. And
two twin downdraft Webbers.
Yeah.
With the sticky rubbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the AX something we've missed the boat on of picking them up cheap now? Because the last time I looked, you could still get them for quite reasonable money.
Yeah.
I suspect the AX GTI.
There's a thread on the forum because someone found one that he built with his brother when they were much younger. He found it in a dilapidated state in the garage, and he was asking about if he could get the parts to rebuild it and stuff. And it does sound like they're fetching strong money now.
I'm thinking in the old forum days, was it Skinny Lou? You used to have one?
Tim, his name is. He still has. Yeah, he's got a couple.
He lives near me, actually, Tim.
I tagged him in that thread.
Because
I thought, I know a man that's going to know the answer to these questions.
Yeah.
And he does. But it turns out there are none left, and they're really expensive.
They all caught fire, and someone had played with all the extinguishers.
Someone had been fiddling with the extinguishers. Ridiculous. So
he then turned into a fire. He's now a fireman.
He scarred him. Yeah, he scarred him so badly.
Yeah.
I think they inspired him.
I think so. And
I thought you were going to say he turned into a fire extinguisher.
In a certain sense, he did.
Yeah.
in a quite literal sense.
Yeah.
So usually when we do awards at the shows, we do Dare to be Different, engine, track, all that kind of stuff. And I picked out a couple of things that I thought at least could get a bit of recognition in that way. We haven't done this as a group. Usually we do this as a group, but I was just as I was flicking through photos to try and find some stuff for this, there's a couple of things jumped out. So actually, Handley, next to this AX, is this, which I thought might be eligible for the engine award.
Oh,
given that it has a VTEC in it.
That's a S2000 engine.
S2000 lump.
Wow.
In the front of your a fairly kind of not ratty but worn-looking.
You wouldn't expect it in there.
Weathered.
No.
Is that weathered. How expensive Cosworth engines have got now?
Yeah, it's officially cheaper to put in a Honda S2000 engine.
Wow.
Is that the Sapphire that I guessed the engine first time when we were playing Guess the Engine on
Yes,
the
it was.
And I just bizarrely went, S2000 engine, and everyone went, what?
So on the as applications came in for the various paddocks and stuff, occasionally stuff would come through with unusual engine swaps, and we have a little group chat, and occasionally I'd put in Guess the Engine in capital letters and stick up a picture of the car with the bonnet shut. The only right guess first time was Dan on this. Such an obtuse choice as well.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I think you'd got used to the game at that point because I was never pulling up things that had like Cosworth swaps or an LS.
Didn't say overhead cam Pinto.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because there was a period of time where obviously people had stuck a Cosy in it, but then the Vauxhall XE had quite a lot of full. It's really the rally cars, isn't it? And then the S2000 became a swap of choice. Yeah. And I don't know, in that same picture, that Power is there. Wasn't that also one of your Guess the Engine games?
No, that was a different one. That was the bright pink one. And the bright pink one had an SR20 DET in it, which is the engine of choice for winners. Or absolute losers that never have a car that'll be
when they're running.
Yeah, they're good when they're running. Yeah. And then the other one that just sort of popped out as I was like looking through was this for what would be our track choice. I almost picked this as sort of car of the year, but not car of the year, my pick.
Wow.
Right.
But
I had a lovely model one of those. I had a little Virago model of that. And yeah, very nice.
That's my arm.
That is your arm. That's what I picked. I picked your arm.
I am car of the show.
I thought you said that was your aunt, and I thought, yeah, I could see that.
the coolest aunt ever there was. Yeah.
I have any aunts.
But 131 on I'm guessing Campags, just brilliant. Love it. So that was just wanted to highlight that because I really liked it. And then the other one that sort of floated about, I think, as a choice sort of for car of the year type things was this. I think a lot of people took a lot of notice of this.
Really loved that.
Was it not there on the Sunday?
Don't recall.
Can't remember.
I think that was the point. I think we all wanted to sort of have another look at it, and then it wasn't there.
It's not there.
That would have been my pick if the Touring had been there.
Yeah.
I thought you'd chosen the second best BMW there, but it's okay to have opinions.
Funnily enough,
so this is the best one, and then the Touring's the second best, yeah.
In my opinion, yeah, but it's okay. We can think the other way around.
You can really disagree.
Really like that. I mean, the Touring's absolutely fantastic, but I know which one I'd have.
I think the Touring's probably lots of fun because it looks like a real driver as well as being
a cruiser, isn't it?
This you just want to cruise.
Showstopper.
Because if we all had the same taste and styles, we'd all have just chosen the same car. So it's a very short video.
Yeah,
we all agree it's this. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah,
we'll have a flying duck egg A2.
That is one of the difficult decisions, though. As a sort of I use the term judge loosely, as someone who gets to pick something at the show. You do sometimes pick your own cars because I have to say, Dan's A2 might have been my favourite had I have turned up and not known about it beforehand. Great car that, and totally out of the age group as well. So
it really probably shouldn't have been allowed in the show, but I'm glad it was because
it wasn't in the show. It was right next to the tunnel.
It was the staff car park. That was Lincoln.
It was a staff car park. I mean, I'm saying these are the two best BMWs at the show, and my BMW was at the show, which I think is quite chivalrous.
Oh yeah, that one was good as well, Andy.
I'd say it's better in a lot of ways.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and we all do.
Pop-ups.
Everyone loves a pop-up.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna. So we kind of generally agreed, I think broadly on what our car of the show overall was, because a lot of people kept on saying, "Have you seen this car?"
Yeah,
and which is usually a good sign of what's going to end up being car of the show for us. Because when you eventually go, particularly if it's a different range of people as well, like if like a bunch of the JDM guys had come over and said, "Oh, have you seen this Toyota Cresta or whatever?" And you go and look at it and you go, "Oh, that's nice," but like other people won't necessarily agree. But like just the whole range of people were coming over and telling us about this Escort. Oh, look, I'm in this picture. Hurrah! We actually have a video of this. It's so big. But we actually have a video coming up of this where we talk to the owner and it talks us through the whole car. But I think generally speaking, across the board, we were pretty satisfied that this was, a good representation of everything.
Yeah, and it is, as you say, it's the one people talked about. It didn't matter who they were. In all the people we knew or didn't know that were coming up and just going, people who we know are just not Ford fans. They're never going to be turned on to a Mark II Escort in any sense of the word, and they'll go, "Did you see that Mark II Escort?" It's
so true.
It's really
big
good.
volumes, isn't it? And I am a Ford guy. I've had like tons of Mark II Escorts, and that was still like to Ford people equally as to non-Ford people, just staggeringly good and unusual. Fords do tend to be a bit modified by numbers, it's all like forest arches, far too small, mini lights, and the same old, but that's so good and different and just custom things that I've never seen anyone else do to an Escort before.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that you might see done to, say, a Mark 1 Golf or something like that.
Yeah,
They're such different scenes that even though they're doing similar things, there's not that much of a crossover. And yet here's this with a door handle switch and some carbon parts and a smoothed bay, all of which you might see in the Ford scene, but not altogether in such a strong manner.
I don't remember seeing a door handle switch ever on Escort.
No, I've seen removed door handles.
Didn't remove door handles.
Yeah,
I'm going to remove the door handles from mine, but I've never seen a door handle switch. And we were all pondering what they were, weren't we? It was like trying to
The
work
Fiat
out.
Barchetta.
Barchetta was.
Oh, beautiful. That was a beautiful detail.
Down.
I didn't ponder, I knew.
So what, the wheels on it, are those rebarreled or like
They're
original?
custom, aren't they? I think.
Are they? Because
Yeah.
it had like the Ford, they had a Ford logo in the middle.
Yeah,
So I wasn't
custom
sure.
centre caps on them. I'm trying to remember if on the video he talks about where the wheels came from. We talked about the ride height. That is static. That just sits like that.
Are they not image wheels?
That's what I was
yeah,
going to say. I was going to go with image.
Yeah, I reckon they're probably image.
Yeah.
It suits it so well.
If Dan says they are, they probably are.
Oh no!
Just I'm going with Dan.
It's just the style of them just reminds me of one of the image wheels.
Yeah.
When you'll see on the full video, like there's so much thought put into it. So he's talking about having these clear sight lines through the car, so it doesn't have rear headrests, and the mirror folds up.
Oh, yeah.
So when it's like parked up at shows, you can clearly see it just has this clear sight line through the car. And like the interior, he wanted a steering wheel, but he didn't want any stalks next to the steering wheel.
All right.
So he has like a switch box, but he didn't want a handbrake disturbing the lines of the car. So he has a push button e-brake, and it's just like it's just so well thought through. So what I like about it is it's one of those cars that immediately grabs you and you go, this is a great looking car, this is really nice. And everybody that looked at it was like, yeah, this is a great looking car, like the engine bay smooth and all that kind of stuff. But then when you talk to him and talk through it, there's so much more to it and so well thought through and so well thought out. And yeah, I was prepared to be pleased with this as a choice of car, but then doing the video with him, I'm blown away. Like everybody's putting 10 out of 10 effort into their cars majority of the time.
Yeah.
For this kind of car, but this seemed particularly well done.
Yeah, I couldn't work out there. I thought there was something about the back window, whether it had slim rubbers or the glass.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out. There's something about that back window or the way it's fitted that didn't look. It looked just a bit smoother than they usually do. Did he cover that in the video?
Yes, sort of. So there's usually rear vents on Mark II Escort.
That's what it is.
Which collect gunk and make it rusty. So he's got rid of them. And also the gutters, he has shortened at the back. So they are slightly shorter. So you have clearer lines around the back.
That's what it was. I was looking at it and I could not put my finger on what he'd done to it. That explains that. Yeah.
As I said,
that's why it's the pick, right? It's these tiny attention to detail pieces that you'd never really pick up on, but something's been done.
Yeah. Look at that.
Unbelievable as well.
Yeah, look at the underbonnet cross. That like he's taken off loads of bits that are sort of reinforcements on the under. Extra strengthening, so it's smoother, so it just has the big cross, and then he's reinforced that. Like I would never have noticed that, but as you say, it's kind of that's why it's the pick. It's a bunch of stuff you would never notice, but something's going on.
Yeah, and you know what else? He's done it. He's done it for himself because it's not. Do you remember the back to 89 Volkswagen game where everyone was doing something to beat everyone else, and there was always another body mod? He's gone like 10 times further than he needed to do, given who he was up against. Given that he's building a Mark II Escort, he certainly didn't need to do half of that stuff because the Escort boys are looking at something else for the Escort. Yeah. I don't want to slate the Ford scene because there's some really nice cars there, but yeah, unnecessary levels of detail. Yeah, it's a super thing.
amusingly, big parts of the Ford scene probably won't like it. The
Yeah.
ones that spell Ford with a lowercase f.
Those, they're good.
They'll wonder why he didn't just chuck the brown interior out and put some buckets in it.
He's ruined a Harrier.
Yeah.
Do you know how much those are worth, stock?
Exactly. I think that was kind of also his point. Anyway, you're seeing the full video. It's a really, really interesting build on top of being a really good build. You know, like someone like, I know we refer to him a bunch, but someone like Retro Power or someone like that would turn out a build like this. But the way he's thought this through is really interesting, and it's really interesting to get him to walk you around the car. So that video will be out after we've done Simon's Bedford Rascal. So
could we do the Rascal second so that I can watch this sooner? Would that be all right?
No.
Okay.
Bizarrely, we had another Mark II Harrier at the show.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was white, which was obviously nowhere as detailed as this one, but was also very, very clean and quite tastefully, even if more in a traditional Ford modifying style. There
was a time where Harriers were considered sort of like not as good as sports because they were like a slightly weird special edition, weren't they? They were. It was a time where people might have peeled the stripes off a Harrier to make it look plainer. You know what would look good though? If it didn't have Harrier stripes, it had Linnet stripes that would go with the interior better. So, I don't know how well you know your Escort Mark II special edition.
Very niche.
Yeah,
that's quite a niche observation. Everybody go and Google Linnet Escorts. Wait, hold on. Be careful with what you forward. Put forward in there because the internet will throw up something.
Linnet Escort Service Limited.
Always one of my favourite things.
On Facebook's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. I have a similar experience whenever I hashtag escorts on Instagram. I put pictures of them up, but I now do that purposely because it amuses me greatly because I really want someone on Instagram to be looking for the other kind of escort and just see some picture of some shonky old car at one of our shows. Yay!
Someone told me the other day that you can't use the hashtag BBC on Instagram, and I have no idea why.
Maybe they don't like the media channel.
That'll be what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right. On that note, I think this would be our car of the year in a normal year. Hopefully, when we get round to gathering, we can actually do some prize giving and gather people, more than 30 of them in one place to do all this stuff. But we shall see. We shall see. The world is a crazy place. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourself at the show. I know it was hard work, but
I did.
Me too.
It was good to do. Dan didn't.
Dan had fun once.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Jason was just too busy running around working and then passing out, so that's good.
Monday I was literally dead.
I would say the weekend
You got better.
Was one of the best shows from my perspective that we've done, because there was a really good balance of us being productive and getting people to where they wanted to be, but we also got time to look around and look at stuff, and the atmosphere was incredibly chilled as well.
I think it was the best. It was certainly the best weekend though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we came in and we did good stuff.
Without doubt,
really proud of everybody.
The best show of the year.
I
reckon the best show of like the last year.
Yeah, best show of the last 18 months or so.
Yeah.
Or the only show that was,
But no, that still stands. Technically right is still right. Yes, thank you for that, gents. We will return probably more in Zoom form once again for more watch-alongs and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to do a video with Jason, wherever he is, about the official show video to talk about all of the hard work he puts into that. So if you want some video editing tips, watch that, because he is clever. Cool. Thank you very much, everybody. And we will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.